All right, hello, happy witching hour. So many of you guys have to get up and go to work in the morning. So this will be something good for you guys to listen to either while you're at work or you're driving to work or whatever it is that you're doing. This is High Priestess Jamila, and I am here to speak about the reason why you're having such a hard time gaining independence and freedom from your family, why you're having such a hard time with that. Um, and then just a little bit about spiritual abuse and all of that. Okay. And I promise I won't take up much of your time, but actually, oops, I'm actually in the middle of doing my hair. So I thought that I would come and speak about this, which is, honestly, I don't think people talk about this a lot. Um, I get a lot of complaints from young adults, ranging in ages from, about early 20s to mid 30s, feeling as though their ambitions in life are not being supported within their family. And, another complaint about lives being destroyed because of it. And I think that this is a huge problem that people do not talk about much, but I'm going to talk about it because, anytime, uh, anytime this is a consistent complaint that I hear from young adults, and I think that mid 30s, I think even late 30s is young. I don't believe that when you're in your 40s, you're old. And so this is a complaint that is often, but it's kind of like this silent but deadly killer that causes this never ending struggle in some people's lives. It's almost like you're fighting against some kind of machine, and it's very scary. It's very frustrating. It is very evil. So I wanted to come and shed some light on that. This is High Priestess Jamila. And I wanted to come and talk about not just the American dream, but just independence, freedom, living life, and how um, it can be very difficult with religion and, things that are happening. In fact, I am a pagan witch that does believe in religion. I do believe in ritual. I do believe that words are spells, looks are spells, conversations are spells. And I realize that you can go through this no matter what race you are. But I think that in particular, when it comes to Black families, but trust me, I have heard about things that are happening in within other races and nationalities that are very similar, to where you feel as though everybody is hating. You feel as though everybody seems to be working against you. And you pretty much feel as though they'd rather see you dead than happy for some reason. So let's talk about that. Yeah, it's a very, very startling thing. And so let's give you a scenario. You have a lot of hope, you have a lot of inspiration, you have a lot of dreams in life, and you want to get out there and you want to make a life for yourself. You're a hard worker and you have the capability to do anything. And I feel that a lot of people feel this way about themselves. Then when you set out there, you feel as though nobody really cares about what you want. It's all about pleasing them. And let's face it, I don't care where you are at in this country, not in this country, on this globe, a large percentage of the population has issues with change. And I think that that issue with change and sort of growing up, becoming an adult, an actual adulting, okay? I think that that's very difficult for a lot of people. So for example, if you grow up and you've got brothers, sisters, maybe cousins, um, and you decide to do whatever it is that you want to do with your life, right? To be honest with you, none of us, not all of us are, well, none of us really are meant to stay stuck in one state. We're not necessarily meant to stay stuck in even one country sometimes. You just never know where your journey in life is going to take you. I mean, it may take you out of this country, you know? I mean, it's the truth. And that is an aspect for those of you that understand what I'm talking about. That is an aspect that you feel as though is not being supported, especially if you are a woman, but this happens with men as well. And it can happen and it can affect the people in your life depending on how thick the chains on you are. Okay. How thick are those chains? How strong is that strong hold? So, what a lot of women complain about is patriarchal religions, and this being used against them, actually. And not just by the males in their family, but they feel this from the females in their family. Women use sexism and patriarchy against other women every single day. And a lot of the times it can sometimes be your own brothers. It can even sometimes be your own sisters. And a lot of you guys, you either want to go to college, you want to get some kind of professional license. You may want to get some kind of training so that you can maybe start a business. I mean, the sky is the limit, honestly. And we know how broad our sky is, very, 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 very unlimited potential that so many people have. And then you go out there, and this is not just including Hollywood, people that have big dreams to become an actress, a rapper, a dancer, a singer. This can be from whatever, walk of life, or whatever your path is. Okay. And you feel these chains wrapped around your neck, your chest, your everything. And so some of you guys will have an intuition that there is somebody that doesn't respond to that change. I mean, even some of your parents still look at you like you're just a baby, which is really disgusting, if you ask me, because when you reach the age of, you know, 30, 35, you're pretty much an adult, even before that. And so some of you guys have that tight grip on you by your parents. Some of you guys have that tight grip on you by your grandparents, or either just the whole family as a collective starts to act as this coven against you. And then, especially when it comes to being Black African American in this country, you start to feel like, are these people using the Bible against me? And when you set out there for the world, it's almost like you feel like they don't want you to do anything without their permission. Otherwise, you're bad. You should be shunned. We're going to go to church every Sunday and make up lies about you to pastor. We're going to do this. We're going to read Bible verses. We're going to light candles so that your life can fail, so that you will have to, placate me, who is not responding well to this change. And some of you guys are feeling like you're constantly battling a beast, constantly, you know? And I'm just here to shed some light as to where that comes from. To put it simply, most of the times, but this is at like the core of where this is coming from. Most of the time, this is because of the evil eye. Okay, most of the time, it's because of the evil eye. Esther, I'm having a conversation. If you want to contact me for a reading, the link to my website is below. Hello, how are you? I wasn't looking at the chat. Hello. All right. So, where is this coming from? This is coming from the evil eye is at the root of the problem. Now, if you are in a Black family, most Black families have not healed completely from slavery. And you know what? I have my own theories about this. I believe it is because it is constantly being thrown up in our faces. I believe because it's constantly being talked about. I believe that this in turn has had a negative effect on a vast majority of the Black community, to where you have a lot of Black families have a really hard time. Um, they have a really hard time identifying themselves outside of slavery, which we know factually that even around the globe, all Black people were not slaves. Okay. That wasn't our only history. That wasn't Black people's only history. And I think that from what I have seen and diagnosed, a lot of spiritual PTSD, if not looking at some of the symptoms that some of my clients have had who are currently getting treatment for. Just to let you guys know, I am not a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist, a licensed psychiatrist. I am a spiritual. I'm a spiritualist. I'm an occultist. I'm a witch. Okay, but I am a healer. And so what I have noticed is that um, there are Black families, and not just Black ones, like I said, under all races and nationalities, but you see it a lot, obviously, in the Black community, to where they have taken on the role of the slave master, okay, or the puppet master. Okay, it's just it's kind of like feeling like you're in prison and you're supposed to be amongst family. And this is something that a lot of people are dealing with, and it is extremely traumatizing. Extremely. It's very stressful, causes a lot of stress on the mind, the body, the spirit, the heart, the lungs. It's awful. It's terrible. You know what slavery means? Slavery means that you are basically owned by someone else. It means that you don't really have freedom or privacy, is what that means. And that is something that has traumatized, and which is why, you know, sometimes when I look at very devout Black Christian families, it breaks my heart because of the simple fact that we know that that religion was used as a tool to reinforce slavery. And now, what has happened in a lot of African American families, and not just African American, but what has happened in a lot of our families is that that tool is still being used. And it's not just a tool, it's a spirit. It's being used for domination and control um, over people. And it's extremely stressful and traumatizing, extremely. And it's caused by the evil eye. And what is the evil eye? What's at the root of the evil eye is what? Jealousy, competition. Okay, that's pretty much what the evil eye is. It's jealousy. The evil eye is jealousy. And, family curses, and, in the last 10 years, um, every good thing always has a bad side. So I was actually talking about the law of attraction, how that law is totally outside of witchcraft. Law of attraction has nothing to do with witchcraft, but law of attraction is one of the main aspects of what is causing you to stay stuck in these generational curses. Okay. Now, why is the evil eye the cause? It is because when you accomplish something, they are jealous. It doesn't matter what they have, they can have a good life. They can have a life that looks as though they should be happy. But guess what? If you go out there and you do something amazing and you do what you need, you do what your spirit guides and your spirits and your deities is creating for you, then they get jealous and they cannot live with themselves. They can't do it. They can't live with themselves. They will toss and turn all night long Why did this happen for her? I didn't want this to happen for him. I can't believe that this happened for this person. I mean, it is something, it becomes an obsession for them. And so you may just be wanting to live a healthier lifestyle. You may just want to live a certain way. That's not what they want. They want you to be exactly what or who they slated you to be, whoever they raised you to be. When you defy that, they don't like it. You step outside of the boxes that they put you in, that, they don't like that. How dare you? You're supposed to be the slave of the family. Okay. You're supposed to be my sous chef, or you're supposed to, sit and have coffee with me, and you're supposed to do this and do that. You're not supposed to go out there and make a life for yourself. And those types of people will curse everything that you try to do. They'll curse it, or they'll try to curse it. Okay. And, it's a weird form of Othello syndrome. It's really, really terrible. It has a horrible effect on the psyche when it comes to being an individual dealing with that type of situation. It's hard. It's hard. I talk to people every single day that are dealing with that. And so while they are, plotting against you and praying against you, which is why a lot of people are really, really sleep on this. People will say, "Oh, well, we need protection against witchcraft." You need protection against everything, including religion. People can take that Bible and put curses on you. People can contact the all of the demons that are a part of their religion, and they can curse you. And the spirit of witchcraft is all about magic. It's all about willpower and creativity and knowing how to make it work, right? That's what it's about. And so that's why you see so many people speaking out against witchcraft, even though it doesn't affect them. Doesn't affect them until they start to throw things at you. And see, we talked about the church a little bit earlier yesterday evening when I was speaking about the autumnal equinox. We were talking about that yesterday. Okay. And we were talking about the church. We were talking about religion. Please do not be sleep on the manipulation that can be used within the Bible. The Bible, verses, phrases, energies, spirits from the Bible can be used against you because they want you to be a good little subject and stay right there, especially some of the ones that didn't accomplish the things that they wanted in life. All of a sudden, you're a horrible, bad person because you want to go out and make your own life. And so it's sad, but we see so many people out there, they have to go through changes and hide their projects, and they can't talk about the things that they're going to do. They can't talk about those things. They can't even have a normal visit with their family because the family is sick with the evil eye. You can't go and do your thing. You're not trying to brag to those people. You're not trying to make them feel bad. You are doing what you are supposed to be doing on your path, and they have a problem with it. And so that's why you won't hear from those people. Why don't they call? Why don't they say, hey, just checking on you? I love you. They don't do it. You know why? Because they're too busy praying for your failure and your downfall. And it's just the reality of it. When you accomplish what you want to accomplish, is going to damn near put them in the hospital because they are sick. They are sick. Okay. So if you accomplish something, anything, and I see the evil eye being pointed at a lot of women. Okay. If you accomplish something, whether or not you do it with a husband or on your own, you can't invite them over without feeling that demonic energy, and they probably wouldn't even come and visit you. They're too sick to come visit you. Reason why they're too sick to come visit you is because they didn't want you to make that move. They didn't want you to move beyond that box. That's why. Okay. And they're constantly trying to get you back in the trap. I see it happening a lot with Black families, especially. Um, I have an extremely hard time trusting those really, really like devout religious families, especially the Black ones, because I have seen religious abuse at its worst. The world is changing. 10 years from now, we're going to be looking at a new but very old world start to manifest around us. The longer you allow those people to keep you in turmoil, because, you know, imagine a chain being around your bone marrow or your heart chakra or your solar plexus, which is the stomach area, which is the pancreas. Imagine that being around you and you're pulling and pulling and pulling because you're supposed to pull away. You're supposed to pull away. That is the normal thing to do. They're trying to constantly form that chain to you to pull you back. And they don't admit it. They love to see failure. They love it. They want it. They're angry at everybody that supported you. They're angry at everybody that congratulated you because they are not happy for you. Do you understand me? And they're not just talking about you behind your back. They're doing spells, they're doing rituals, they're going to witches. They are. That's what they're doing. Okay. Hey, Teo Virgo. Hello. Oh, I had to do a deep cough. Good grief. And it's just the reality of it. Okay. They are mentally disabled because they are so obsessed about being in control of you. It's sick. You see what I'm saying? So that is one of the reasons why I teach the craft. So this is one of the reasons why I teach the craft. Listen, this is not a time for trolling. Krishna, if you're going to keep trying to interrupt my live, I'm gonna have to block you. Seriously. Okay? Please do not come in here trying to derail my conversation. If you do not like the conversation that I am having, okay, then you can leave. Okay. Well, if you're not able to follow the conversation, I am speaking in general. This is the one thing that I can tell you is that I am not going to continue to have this mobbing of trolls coming in here questioning me about what I am saying. You tried to question me. You tried to derail my conversation by questioning me. Who is mentally disabled? What do you mean, who? What did you think I was talking to you? Well, if you just came in, you can rewind the video. That's all you have to do is go back to the beginning, hon. Yes, it is, Teo. Yes, it is. It's a necessity. Okay. And we're having a serious conversation here. Honestly, I don't want to hear the gaslighting. Okay. I don't want to hear the gaslighting. I don't. We ready to do something real. Can we do something? Can we speak about something real? Let's continue the conversation. Okay. In fact, I'm not watching the chat. I'm just going to put the phone down. I'm not watching the chat. Okay. This is slavery. This is why you see this a lot in Black families. For generations post slavery, Black families would kind of, it was so much trauma involved with that. It was so much trauma that, Black families would all sort of huddle together. And I think that if you are not aware of what is going on, but there are so many people that are aware and they don't understand how to get out of it. And what is being used against you, my friends, what is being used against you is witchcraft. Christianity, Catholicism, all of those religions are witchcraft. They all have roots in paganism. Okay? This is one of the reasons why I don't get hurt or upset by religious people talking about witchcraft, because they're doing it too. Okay? Okay, American Indians, I didn't know that, but yeah. I mean, I've seen all different, to be honest with you, it's not just in Black families, it's everywhere. It's they will have their pick, and I just want you to be sort of my focal point. I need to feel as though I control you. I need to feel as though I can manipulate you like a toy. That's just what it is. How are they manipulating you, though? Do you think that they're not using witchcraft against you? Of course they are. And the more obsessive they are over you, the worse it is. Okay? It is up to you as far as how you're going to handle the situation. Okay? Well, yeah, definitely. Definitely, Teo. Definitely. I wish I could give you a wrench, Teo. Well, you know what, that is an interesting, that's an interesting question or subject that you brought up, Teo. Yes, there are, there are a lot of people walking around here who have soul fragments are completely gone, because there is something called selling souls to demons and things of that nature. Yeah. Thank you, Tremel Woods. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And, that's just like if you grow up in, let's say you grow up in California or wherever it is that you grow up, but you want to move to the countryside, right? You want to go to the countryside. You're free to go wherever you want to go, but they want you there. They don't want you to go where you want to go, right? You want to be on the countryside where it's safe, or it's presumably safe. In particular, if you're from one of these really rough areas, rough cities, I mean, why do y'all think that so many people have a hard time getting out of the rough neighborhoods? If your entire family still lives in a rough area where there's a lot of craziness going on, you think that they're going to necessarily be happy for you when you move to the suburbs or to the country? No, I'm stuck. They feel like this. I'm stuck back here with all this trauma and drama around me. How dare you think that it's okay for you to take your energy and your power and go all off somewhere? How dare you? Who do you think you are? You think you better than us? So then that is when you become like the black sheep. This is when you become the outcast, right? How many of y'all relocated, moved away, and then all of a sudden everybody just started acting funny towards you? Hey, hold on, guys. I got to get me some root beer real quick. Hold on. Thank you, hon. Okay. How do you escape abusive family members? Krishna asked. Well, it depends on what you mean by abusive. If you mean physically abusive, but what I'm speaking about is mental and spiritual abuse. Okay. that would be witchcraft. It would be witchcraft, is how you would escape that. Or try to move close to you and follow you. Well, you know what? I don't even think that is that I don't even think that that is necessarily a bad thing unless you kind of wanted to get away from all of the drama and then they began to follow you. Then yeah, that would suck. It would suck, and that's one of a lot of people's main complaints, is that it kind of feels like you are doing something wrong when you're not. Don't ever feel guilty. Some of y'all might want to go to California near the beach. Some of y'all might want to go to Florida. Some of y'all might want to leave the country altogether. And, they are just like, when people get familiar, because your family members, they're your familiars, right? If they are used to seeing you or are used to being around you, especially if you provide a certain energy, if you just have a tendency to make people feel better. A lot of you guys have this amazing vibration to where when you enter into the room, it just kind of hey, everybody, everybody happy to see you. Hey, it's so good to see you. You know what I'm saying? If you're carrying that kind of weight on your shoulders for 30 years of your life, you start to become what? Drained. And, that is codependency. It is. It's a codependent family. And oh, yeah, there you go. It's a codependent family. And it's not necessarily that you don't want anything to do with them. You just have to go and clear your head of all of that and get it together so that you can fulfill your dreams and fulfill your life. And they're constantly trying to pull. It's like you're in a tug of war over your own energy, over your own life. And some of y'all will get framed. I've seen people get killed. I've seen lives destroyed because of this. As if there's not enough challenges for us out here in this world. The last thing people should have to deal with is family members doing things like that. For me, I'm not so forgiving. There are some people that are very forgiving. I know that I am not, because that is the last thing that a family member should be doing. I am all for congratulating people, not hating on people. I am all for supporting people and their dreams and their visions in life of what they want their lives to be. I am all for that. Okay. What's at the hub of this is the evil eye. Oh my God. And what it is basically, when you fulfill something like that, thank you. Um, when you start to fulfill your dreams in life and you actually enjoy it and you are connected with it, that's really what gets them. It's the jealousy. It's the fact that you're actually happy, right? Very good advice, Teo. Have your own money. Exactly. Very good advice. Yeah. It's really frustrating. It really is. And I'm gonna tell you, money is the key, but then again, it is also making sure that you are protected, that you actually have protection in life. Because, a lot of you guys that are entrepreneurs, you know why you're entrepreneurs? Because you were never encouraged to go to college. Or maybe your parents didn't have money for you to go to college. And that was your path. Entrepreneurship was your path. You started your own companies, you started your own businesses. Okay. And um, you started your own businesses. And, that was your path. I mean, there are some people that go back to college and things of that nature, but those of you that, were meant to be entrepreneurs, then that's just what it was. And, if you come from a spiritually codependent family, entrepreneurship can be extremely difficult. It can be because they are affecting you with the law of attraction, which is why y'all need to rebuke that spirit. Okay. Law of attraction is a spirit that can be used against you. Okay. And it is jealousy. Some people, they just cannot be happy for you. They can pretend to be happy for you, but they're just not happy for you. They're not, and this is a huge issue, especially if you come from a middle class family and, everybody in your family, and really, to be honest with you, the middle class is being sort of eliminated. If y'all notice, there's either people that are doing well and people that are not doing well at all. Okay. See, this is an internal struggle that is within your family, but then also it can become an external struggle because they are putting that cloud of that kind of like that dust cloud around you. Okay. Yeah, they're just not happy for you. You can tell by when you speak to them, when you talk to them, they're just like, eh. You can tell that they don't even like you. People that are lucky enough to come from good families, and that is few and far between, but people that are lucky enough to come from good families that, they just don't function that way. They are not sitting around thinking about other people's lives constantly 24/7. You know, a lot of you guys are lucky enough to have that, but there is a huge percentage of people that are going through that are dealing with these family demons, and it's really difficult. I have sat back in my readings and with some of my clients, and I have gotten so pissed off because I will look at someone in your family literally trying to direct energy toward, hold on, that child trying to get in the bathroom. I have literally sat there in readings and I have watched these monsters throw negative energy even at your kids, especially if you're a mom, especially if you are a single mom. Those are the main targets, and it's funny how a lot of our single mothers, so they're not happy for you. And you know what? I found that everybody in the family will sort of, everybody in your household will sort of suffer from insomnia. You know what I'm saying? It's so disgustingly deplorable. And what I was talking about is that I have seen people, your fathers, your mothers, your uncles, your aunties, your cousins, sometimes, if they are an agent for these family, narcs. I have seen them sit back and throw stuff at your kids. In fact, they would even try to handicap your children just so that you would have a need for them. Oh well, you've got a special needs child, so we feel that it would be best for you to come here because that's got to be hard on you to have to deal with that. And so then all of a sudden, your child has to be stigmatized and they have to be special needs because these people don't know how to let go. Nobody can be just normal and happy. Everybody has to be screwed up and messed up and, codependent in some kind of way, sick, some kind of illness, disease. Everybody got to be sick. And this is caused by the evil eye. The evil eye is making everybody sick, and everybody knows it. Evil eye, you know. When you're talking about a project and when you complete that project, there's going to be people that are going to be extremely happy for you, inspired. But there are some people, they are going to seethe with hatred. They are going to hate you for your accomplishments. It's just the reality of it. They're going to hate it. They're going to hate you. They're going to hate that you actually did it because for months and months or either years and years, they don't want you to have that. Because what does that mean? To them, that means that they are a failure. And some of your parents are like that. They may have a huge, a huge home. Okay. They may have a huge house. And some of our parents, they have these 2 or 3, 4 bedroom houses, and you may go and build a 6 bedroom house. And that meant that you exceeded them. Now, our generation, I wouldn't expect for my children to um, necessarily feel that it's not a competition, but they make it a competition. You see what I'm saying? They make it a competition. They turn it into a competition. And so to me, they're no different than lab rats. It's disgusting. And, I would not want to associate. I wouldn't want to associate. I wouldn't want to be around anybody like that. I wouldn't want to talk to anybody like that because it's horrible, and it is the evil eye, and the evil eye definitely is the issue because they feel like you accomplished more than me, and I am upset about that. I am upset about that. So instead of you being able to progress in life, they're constantly trying to digress you. What do you do in that situation? What do you do? You sit back and go, I can't I can't exceed them, well, why not do what you gotta do and not think about them? Well, it's very difficult because they'll be in your consciousness because your family, you have the same bloodline. So, there are so many things that have to be done, blood cleansing rituals, and oh my God, it is awful. It is horrible. It's horrible. It is. It's awful. It's frustrating as hell. And so then you just disassociate from it. Say, I don't want nothing to do with these people. You just don't want nothing to do with them, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Teo, the thing of it is, here's the thing. They will do everything in their power to destroy the resources that you have, just simply because they don't want you to fit. And most of us, I mean, I looked at this movie. It was a series on Netflix called Made, MAID, and I'm not going to give my true opinion of the whole thing, but I just want to point out the part where you have this young girl. She feared being abused by the father of her child, so she left. She ended up working as a maid for a maid company, and for a while, her and her daughter had to stay in an apartment that had all this mold in it. It was just, I mean, the mold was just growing all over the walls, right? It was mold. And so her daughter ended up getting sick. And, she ended up having to move out of that moldy apartment. Can you imagine somebody being so disgusting that they don't even want you to live in a safe environment that doesn't have mold, things that are going to make you feel as though you can't breathe or make your children sick? That's a sick person. That's a sick person. I know that for me, I would be extremely upset. And it wasn't necessarily that you'd have to look at the series. I think it's still on Netflix. But there was at one point, and that wasn't necessarily her story, but it was at one point, it was at a point where, you know, um, she had found better housing, but, um, people from her past came and screwed it up and she got thrown out. And so it's the same thing. But we do find that family members are up to it. It's a secret that they're doing. It's the secret. And it's an obsession with control. Um, do I believe that this means that you are cursed? Well, you all are at that point. Anybody that does that, nobody should wake up in the morning thinking about how they can, destroy your plans in life. Nobody should do that, but they're doing it. They're doing it a lot, and they will stop at nothing. They'll go in through your children. They'll go, I mean, they'll do whatever they can. Absolutely just seething with hatred. Yeah, they are. Well, Teo, you're doing really good. I commend you. Can you I want to do some shameless plugging of if you don't want to, you don't have to. I want to do some shameless plugging of my Black Candle vigils. Yeah. Um You have to stay vigilant, and you don't have to be stressed out about it either. Because what's the point in stressing? What's the point in stressing out about it? Stress ain't gonna do nothing but make you sick. Okay. Thank you, Teo. You did my black candle vigil for how many months? I think it was like 3, 4 months at the beginning of this year. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, hon. I appreciate the plug. So, it just, my God. I mean, you just want to, it's almost like they in order for them to feel better about themselves, they have to feel as though they have to handicap you. It's like you're supposed to just be handicapped. You're not normal. You're not capable, right? And this is not just happening with women. This is happening with men. Believe it or not, that's one of the reasons why we have millions of homeless people in this country and millions of empty houses. We got just as many empty houses as we do homeless people in this country. Okay. So, what was I telling y'all about willpower? What was I telling y'all about intent? Setting your intent and your will. Okay. Throw that law of attraction crap out. Yeah, I guess you could have a powerful law of attraction if you had a family that was set up like that. And, I'm a witch. I don't consider myself to be a spiritual guru. No, I'm a witch. So I understand how intent works. Okay. And so, going out into the world, you may feel as though, you know, you you may feel as though because you're dealing with this or dealing with that, you may feel, well, I need friends, right? And friends are important, but you don't need a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? Um, you just need to have a good sense of self, right? Yeah, you did like 3 or 4 months of it. Yeah, and we're going into fall. I'm going to be back to advertising the Black Candle Vigils. Um, yeah, because they are important and they will help to push you to the next level. Do you care to because I remember your testimonial that you did. Do you mind elaborating, Teo, on what the Black Candle Vigil helped you accomplish? If you don't mind elaborating on that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Um, most of us want our own space to decorate. Most of us want our own spaces to live. It's pretty normal. See? Yep. It helped me move from my parents' house. Hallelujah. Okay. So I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. Like They act like you're supposed to be like just it's different for different people as to what the actual issue is. Um, right, right. They didn't want you to leave, and so you felt trapped. Yep. And we got you up out of there, didn't we? How you liking your new place? Yeah. You know what, Teo? You wouldn't be the only one. I'm telling you, it's a trip. A lot of people will say, I want my own place. What do I do? Uh-huh. Yep. I want my own place. What do I do? Well, you know, the Black Candle Vigils definitely help. Teo is would you consider yourself to be beginner, intermediate, or advanced in the craft? Yes, congratulations. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important for people to look at that. I mean, most people in this world want their own crib. Let's just put it like that. Nobody wants to live with their parents for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to the age of 25, you start to have your own individual needs, and you want to get out in the world. Don't do this, don't do that. Oh, there's so many risks and that. It's almost like you're the chicken that they don't want to cross the road. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because it wanted to get to the other side. That's why the chicken crossed the road. Okay? That's why. But you become the chicken that they don't want to cross over. And it's so weird. And it's that one little simple thing. And so, not with everybody, like everybody that is going through that struggle, it's not because of that. But for a lot of you guys that do want to be out on your own, and you want to be independent, and you want to have a good life, there are a lot of you guys that do have that issue with that evil eye. Okay, yeah, yeah, then yeah, exactly. And they may even laugh at your dreams, but you know what? If nobody ever had dreams, nobody would have ever accomplished anything. So, I don't know if they feel as though having an extra warm body in the house makes the house more warm. I'm not sure. I'm really, and it's perplexing. It's what do the Christians say? It's the devil. That what else can we say? It's very perplexing. Can you imagine? There are some people that I have seen people that live in these enormous castles, and people that have generational wealth in their family, and everybody in their family is wealthy. And I've seen it. Nobody in that particular family is trying to stop anybody from obtaining anything. But in those families where they have this sickness, it's a sickness. And that's where, and you're the oddball out. Oh, you want to go do something, and you may come from a pretty decent family, but for some reason, and your family can have money and still do the same thing to you. I mean, honestly, I think that even though they say that it's a fake marriage and all this stuff, but who is that? The uh, Meghan Markle and her husband. I don't even. I think it's Prince Andrew. They want to move out of the the Queen's quarters. They want to move out, and they don't want them to. Ain't that something? I haven't gotten an update on that, but so I mean, even though those people are extremely, extremely rich, they don't have their everyday freedoms at all. And and when we look at people like Britney Spears and stuff like that, it's really sad. It really is. It's really sad. So um if you've got at least half of your mind is functioning, then you'll see that witchcraft kind of overrides everything. Even MK Ultra, witchcraft overrides MK Ultra. Witchcraft overrides religious manipulation. It just overrides everything. It's like this incredibly powerful cheat code. It really is, so that you can get ahead in life. And you don't even necessarily have to do work for people. It's just that was my chosen path. But it just, and a lot of y'all will get these good jobs, and then you'll go and you'll say, oh, I got a job at this a place, and then the next thing you know, you're struggling on the job. You having issues, everybody acting funny, and it's probably because they done called into HR. Then all it takes is one phone call for people to stigmatize you. I've been through that. I had to pull my children out of school once. It was such a nice school. Let me tell y'all about the school that my kids were going to over in Lawrence. It was so nice. You walk up to the door and there's this koi pond, this bridge. You walked over this bridge, and every morning my kids could go up there and they could just walk by and they could see the koi fish swimming in the. It was such a nice school that they went to, and it took one stinking phone call, and it was just ruined. It was ruined. I had to sit and explain to the principal, and I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. And it gave me a wake up call of the real world and the world that we live in. And most people that are going through those types of family things don't want to discuss it, because most people are going to judge you. They are. A lot of people in this world will judge you. My feelings was hurt, and I just was like, I don't understand. My kids are here every day on time. And I ended up having to put a note in the school file in case there was any phone calls that came in. At the time, I was 4 months pregnant with Jacob. I just went home and cried myself to sleep. I was so devastated by that happening. And it changed our lives forever. It was awful. So I know exactly how y'all feel. Um, it sucks. And they're demonically possessed. And yeah, you are protected from those demons, because you can still create the life that you want for yourself, but you just have to find, a lot of times, especially if uncles and aunts are involved. It's horrible. So use the craft. That's what it's there for. Now, I don't. suggest just I don't suggest just getting into the craft like immediately like that. Some of you have to. But I do think that it is important to get guidance from somebody that understands what you're going through, because imagine if they could do that to you. Imagine the type of programming that you've been under for years and what it can do to the mind. You sort of develop a slave mentality, and it's so devastating to the mind. You know, they say that trauma can cause seizures, it can cause depression, anxiety is so horrible. And, sure, if you even if you have a fallout with them, you have a talk with them, and they'll say, and they'll stop for a while, but then they'll start back up. And then they'll stop for a while, and then they'll start back up. And then that's when you just say, I'm done with it. No, I'm not gonna die. I'm just done with you. Because why are you trying to make life harder for me? And there's ways. Where there's a will, there's a way. It is. And uh, it's so horrible when the most simplest thing is met with, just this snarling demon that just, and they'd be very happy. Even some of you guys that have children, they'd be very happy with you being in a neighborhood or an environment where you getting ready to get your head blown off. Because then they wouldn't have to feel bad about their lives, right? And I'm not going to sit here and, like I said in my last discussion, um, not going to sit here and say, oh, you can't do that with witchcraft. Oh, witchcraft is not going to fix that. It does fix that. It does. No matter what crazy stuff that they do. And especially depending on what type of family you come from, you don't bow down to it because, that wasn't what was meant for you. Because if it were meant for you to be their slave, then you'd be okay with it. But you're not okay with it, are you? Because you can be a slave for different reasons. You can just be somebody that they like to conversate with. Whether or not that conversation is good, bad, or indifferent, they may need somebody to debate with them all the time. They may need somebody to, it's so many different reasons that they have, but it still doesn't justify it. There's no justification for that. And it's, that whole thing is just like gripping the hearts of everybody, and it's a silent killer. It is. It's a silent killer. It's terrible. Okay. So put up your spiritual defense. Um, we are getting back into the Black Candle Vigils again. And it's just what is going to be necessary, you know? And so, yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Don't give up. You can do it. Don't feel bad for doing what you have to do. And, you know, if like they'll say, oh, you're killing me. I'm going to die if I see you do that. Well, that's their own fault. What are you talking about? Seeing me get the things that I want in life is going to kill you? That's a very sick person that refuses to get help. And so, what are you supposed to do? Just give up on life? You're supposed to give up on your life? You're just supposed to say, oh, I just want to die. Just, you know, this is sadly why suicides are so common. It's sad. So, you know, I'm not saying go, I'm not saying leave the church. I'm saying go beyond the church. That's all I'm saying. Okay. It's a lot of evil out in that church too. So go beyond that. Okay. And, you know, heal yourself and get yourself cleared and, you know, do your thing. Like Tremel Woods said, do your thing. Seriously. Okay. And if you have a dysfunctional family like that, then I just wanted to come and give y'all some inspiration and some hope, and not just hope, but that power energy that y'all need to understand that your spirit guides, your deities, whoever it is that is guiding you, is rooting for you. They are rooting for you. They want you to accomplish that, but you got to get out of your feelings. I know everybody in their feelings about it. You got to get out of your feelings about it. Because it really, are you going to be able to change it? You can't change it. Those people ain't going to change until they ready. And they may not ever change. They may not ever change. Okay. And, you know, they'll tell you things like, oh, you're selling your soul. My soul is fine. Wow. I am still the same person, only an improved version of myself from a decade ago. Okay. Regardless of anybody's opinion of me or whatever, I'm still the same old person, but just an improved version because you grow. You're supposed to. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm about to go up here and get to bed myself. I don't want to stay up all night. I hope y'all have a good week, and I will see you guys later. Okay. All right. Blessings.